I'm pretty much communicate and coordinate everything involved in the production. So what happens in rehearsal, I have to communicate to the production team. So for instance, if we need a map to go in a pocket, I need to ask the props department for that. I also have to think, okay, the map needs to go in the pocket of Orsino in 12th Night. So I have to make a note to wardrobe as well saying, that map, could we please have a pocket to accommodate a map, that sort of thing. So I'm the eyes and the ears of what's happening in rehearsal to the production team, so things do get taken care of. So for instance, if we have a table that the director would like the actor to stand on, I have to put that in notes and say, hey, can we stand on the table? Can we do a jig on the table? You know, that sort of thing. And they may say no because it's a rented piece, or they may say, yes, we will put some more supports in. Stage managers are hired a week before rehearsals start. So once I start, I get the script. I get all the designs from the production manager / technical director. So it's all the paperwork that the designers have created. And I put my book together. It's called a prompt script or the show Bible, because whatever's in that script is what the show is all about. So when the show closes and it goes into archives, there could be the possibility that we need to pull the information out as research, or they might want to remount a show. So all that information would be in there. So I put my book together, and it's a binder. It's pretty much a filing cabinet of whatever everything is involved with the show. And as rehearsals go along, the binder gets bigger and bigger and bigger because you're adding more and more information. You're adding the rehearsal schedules. They get done daily. During the prep week, that 1 week before rehearsal starts, I create all preliminary paperwork. So that's sound from the script, that's sound, costumes, lights, props, that sort of thing, and I distribute it. And as we get into rehearsal, it becomes a final document as the time goes along. I use a computer a lot. I create mounds and mounds of paper and paperwork, and I use Microsoft Word. I'm not involved in the lighting aspect of it or the sound aspect of it with regards to technology of creating the lighting, the looks of the lighting, or creating the sound cues. I'm the one that has it in my book that says sound 14 go. So when I say the word go, they have to press a button. So it could be sound, lights, and slides. When I say go, they have, all three of them have to press a button. So, and cell phone a lot because people are always texting me, updating me, that sort of thing. But other than that, the computer features very well in my job. Putting together my book, I always feel good about putting everything together when it's just to start to go into rehearsal. But also, it's from the first read through of the cast sitting around the table with everybody involved in the production to the time we get to tech weekend, because you see the progress of what's happening, what the director has, talk to the actors about how this, that, and the other thing. As a stage manager, I have no creative input whatsoever. That's up to the director and the designers. But once we get to tech, I will call tech, where we add the elements of the lighting cues in and the sound cues and whatever other technical aspect. I find that very creative as well, because it's up to me to make sure I call it, and call it means sound 14 go. Figuring out where placement in a script. Like the director could say, I want to hear the bells at the end of this word, but I wouldn't call it at the end of this word, because by the time I say go, the end of the word is, that sort of thing. So it's a coordination, and sometimes it's figuring out the best place for things, and I have to watch. Sometimes it's a word cue, sometimes it could be someone waving their hand, and that's my cue to start the fog or start a sound cue or something like that. I always make sure we respect everybody's superstitions. So, for instance, if someone quotes something from the Scottish play, it happened during a weekend of Marie Antoinette, and I say, get out, get out. You got to go and do the whole, turn around counterclockwise and say certain lines and that sort of thing. There's also details. I'm always watching for details. So, for instance, if there's a Bible used on the show, there's superstitions about using real Bibles on the show. There's superstitions about using peacock feathers, real peacock feathers on the show and that sort of thing. But if a Bible is used, I want to make sure that no one puts anything on top of that Bible. And we say the same thing to the actors about if we're doing a run for the first time and nobody has their script in their hand and they mess up a line and it has to be instant forgiveness because everybody has to move forward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't want to pull ourselves into the depths of...
I wish that was a thing in other professions.
Oh, I agree. Got to move on. Sometimes you do stay there for about a second and then you think, no, it's time to move on. We need to... Progress has to continue.